Alongside Bryan Hayes and Craig Button. Gentlemen, you both voted on the top 50 NHL players list at the start of the season. You both dissed Alex Ovechkin, and Ovi said, hold my beer. He got 10 goals in the first 14 games. Craig, you had him at number 44. Hayes, you had him completely out of the top 50. You looking for a mulligan on this one, Hazer?
No, I'm not. Listen, I may not have hit this 320 off the tee right down the middle of the fairway, Gino, but it's in like the first cut, maybe in the rough. I don't need a mulligan. I got this right. Listen, it's a long season, guys, right? They're playing game 15 tonight. Ovi's off to a great start. His stats have been good. He's been healthy, which I think is significant here. His shooting percentage is through the roof right now, right? He's shooting at about 20% right now. Things are bouncing his way. They're going in. He's got a line now. That top line in Washington's been outstanding. Dylan Strome has been great. And obviously, he has injected some youth into Ovi in the way that he's been playing. And they have very positive vibes down there in Washington. They're off to a great start. So it's not as if I had Ovi outside of the top 150, but I had him outside of the top 50, and I believe he will remain outside of the top 50 by the end of the year. What hasn't changed through a month and a half in the season is his age. He's still 39. Right? He is slower. He's not as physically daunting. It's a great start. I credit him for that, considering how poor his start was a year ago. But I still think there's a lot of holes here, right? We're on like the third tee as I continue to use the golf analogies. There's a long, long season ahead of us. And I think by the end of it, I will be proven right that Alex Ovechkin will not and should not be considered a top 50 player in the NHL.
Well, that's interesting. What I would say about Alexander Ovechkin is we can talk about this year and we can talk about his start last year. Over his last 50 games, he's been prolific as a goal scorer. You know, we tend to look at birth certificates, whether it be a young player or an old player. Just watch how the guy's playing. Yeah, he's not the same Ovi that he was when he was 30. But at the end of the day, and when you watch him play, he's a prolific goal scorer. And you consider the pace that he's on, 50-goal pace over his last 50-plus games. And certainly that speaks to the dominance that he's had in the goal-scoring area. Now, when we look at Alexander Ovechkin, I just can't bet against him. So whether I have him 44, 34, or 54, to Brian's point, bottom line is I believe that Alexander Ovechkin is ultimately going to have the crown this season. Most goals in the history of the NHL. Can he get the belt? Another Rocket Richard trophy? The belt? Have the crown and the belt? Boy, would that be something. But when you watch Alexander Ovechkin play, and Brian, I don't think you could have hit it any more on the head. Dylan Strome has injected not only some youth with Alexander Ovechkin, but that playmaking ability that was lost when Nicholas Backstrom got hurt. And Dylan can make plays, and he plays brilliantly with Alexander Ovechkin. That is going to help him as well. So it doesn't all have to be about Ovi. But again, I just caution everybody, don't bet against Ovi.
Don't bet against Ovi. And Hazer said there's still plenty of holes to play. You guys aren't exactly on the same page. FanDuel is currently giving Ovi 48-1 odds to win the Rocket again this year. There are 15 guys ahead of him with shorter odds right now.